AITAH for transferring my assets to my daughter before my marriage? I am not OOP. OOP is you, puzzle-headed cold 760. Originally posted to r AITAH. AITAH for transferring my assets to my daughter before my marriage? Trigger warnings. Emotional manipulation. Attempted financial abuse. Less than. Mood spoilers. New beginnings. Less than. And NBSP. Original post October 5, 2023. I, F28, had my daughter, F9, while still in college. I am ashamed to admit I don't know who the dad is. It was a drunken party mishap. My parents disowned me in sympathizing with my plight. My grandpa took me in. He had a bad relationship with my dad. Grandpa died 2 years ago, leaving me his entire estate. He was kind of rich. I started dating my fiance Max, M35, around 4 years back. He has 2 kids, F6, M10. He has full-time custody of as well. Their mom married someone else and moved across the country. She pays child support but makes no effort to contact them or visit them. We have lived together for over a year now and everyone gets along pretty well. We stay at the house my grandfather left me and split all bills and expenses 50-50. But keep rest of the finances separate. He popped the question 2 months ago and I said yes. Few weeks ago we had a minor fight. My daughter's birthday is coming up and I wanted to gift her a pony. She has been learning to ride for a few years now and really want one. When I mentioned this to Max, in a passing conversation, he got mad at me for wasting our money on stupid gifts like this. I told him I am not taking anything out of our budget and just buying it out of my money. He said then I should buy his kids ponies too to make it fair. I said sure, let's split the expense. He told me I should buy it myself since I am rich and it is my decision to buy my daughter a pony. In the first place, that he is trying to make it equal for all kids in the household and don't have money to waste like this. I got his point, but I also felt that he would want me to make everything equal with his kids too. I get they will be my kids too and I should not treat them different. But I also felt like my daughter should not have to split her generational wealth. It's not mine, it's my grandpa's, and he loved her. He left it to me believing I would pass it on to her. So I made a trust fund transferring 50% of assets I inherited into that. It has rules regarding reasons I can make withdrawal out of, like education and separate living allowance based on age, money for marriage, for house and entire balance made available at 30. I set up another trust fund for myself putting 30% assets into it with yearly allowance and then to dissolve after 50, hoping to retire then. Balance 20% is mostly the house, land and emergency funds. I did it so whatever income I earn, I will be able to make it equally split within kids. But inheritance will stay intact for my or my daughter's future without having to be split or used. For my stepkids. My fiance found out about this a couple of days ago. Saw some related papers in my drawer. He was really mad at me for cutting him and his kids out. He said if I was marrying him, we would be sharing all assets and finances. That it's not fair for me to keep 90% of my wealth just to myself and my kid when he is sharing all of his with us. I said I was sharing everything I make too. Just the inheritance is kept aside. He is not bringing any inheritance into the union either. He said that's because he has none and it's incredibly selfish of me to not share. To lock it away. That with this, my daughter will have a luxurious life while his kids have average life only since there is no way we can afford all that for them with our income only. I said generational wealth is separate and it should go to biofamily. He called me for discriminating and depriving his kids of an equally good life. AITAH and NBSP. AITAH has no consensus bot. But based on the top comments, OOP is NTA and NBSP. Relevant comments from OOP. First, you're just randomly buying your child a pony. Who does that? Op. One who has enough money to afford that and a daughter obsessed with riding and ponies. Also, who just sets up multiple trusts in a few weeks? Op. I do. I mean, my team did. I am sorry if it takes you too long. Also, why do you think retirement age is 78? Op. I want to retire at 50. As in 50 years old. Not 50 years from now. Anna of Arundel. NTA. That's why people get a prenup. I would say the only mistake in this was not considering you might want more kids, so they should, regardless of their father, have the same funding. Op. I had a complication during childbirth and had my uterus removed. I won't be having any more kids. Kitty cruel. Inheritance is legally not split though. If you two divorced, they wouldn't include your inheritance in the proceedings. It would all revert to you. So this "we're sharing everything" mentality he has when he's already getting free housing from you is very convenient but false. Op. I think he meant within marriage, not exactly in divorce context, which is also why I established the trusts. So the money is out of my hands and no one can force me to spend it. Requirements. Guilt. Nothing would work since money can be withdrawn only in accordance with the eligible clauses. And NBSP. Update October 6, 2023. I know this is quick, but I am someone who always act quickly. So here is the update. I had a much-needed conversation with Max. I showed him the post, replies, advices and experiences. He looked defeated to see this. At the core there were two issues. 1. How much do I trust him? 2. How do we handle finances moving forward? He told me he was ready to sign a prenup before I even asked if that would alleviate my worries. He said all he wants is to have everyone in the household to feel equal, to not make his kids feel resentful, to make it fair to everyone. I understood that. The fact is there is no way it can be made fair to everyone. If I want to give my daughter the best of everything, I should give same to his kids too. But that is not always possible even with our combined incomes. For example, if her love for riding stays, both me and her would prefer she attend a private school providing equestrian sports. Tuition for that and related costs can be availed from her trust, but we would not be able to afford to pay tuition for his kids out of our combined income. Trust is already set up and even I cannot withdraw money for their tuition. Even if I could, I would be reducing my retirement funds or my daughter's inheritance. Same goes for car, tuition fund, and all other expenses my daughter will have covered, but even with our incomes, we can't give equally to Max's kids. Further, marriage is a big risk. Even with a prenup, if he takes on debt during course of marriage, I would also be liable. A lot of the comments have instilled a lot of fear in me. I am also worried about the resentment finance is going to build. I love Max. I really do. But I love my daughter million times more. She is my life. I have to accept that her future and opportunities is more important to me than a marriage. At least for the next 9 years. Who am I kidding? Till my daughter can fully be independent. And I cannot fault him for wanting the same for his kids. He is just being a dad. But I cannot take away from my daughter to give to his kids. I can only give equal love and care to them. Equal attention. Financially we are just not compatible. Long story short, I gave back my ring. Engagement and marriage is off the table for now. After all, there is no real necessity to get married. We are both sad about this turn. But the fact he did not kick up a fuss is a bit reassuring. I really do believe our companionship is just as valuable to him as to me. Just that we are also parents who wants the best for our children. We don't know where our relationship is going. I would still like to have him in my life. But he is also free to leave and find another person. I did not ask him to leave and he is staying for now. I will try to keep normal stuff equal between all. Whatever I can afford to do out of my income. My daughter is still getting a pony. It's a gift from her great-grandpa. After all, I would not compromise her life and choices. My grandpa took me in for her sake. He left it all to me for her. I cannot compromise on that. And there is no need for 3 ponies. Neither of his kids know or has shown any interest in riding. If they want one after seeing my daughter with hers, we will be getting them riding lessons. And they can share. They will be getting the best birthday presents we can afford that aligns with their interests for their birthdays. If Max sticks around till then, I will also be protecting the house and land as well. He cannot make claims on it as far as I know, but I will still be discussing it with my estate lawyer. Thank you for helping me see what I refused to. Love had me blind. And NBSP. Reminder, this is a repost sub. I am not OOP. I think financial compatibility is real. It's easy when you're both young and just starting out. However, in this situation it'll never work. Honestly, I can't fault 2 people looking out for their kids. That's what we're all supposed to do. They both show a lot of maturity in ending things before they got too far and everyone got hurt. I keep reading about all these wealthy grandparents. Where do I find one of those? Like, I understand OOP's point about the daughter inheriting the money from grandpa, who apparently the guy never even met. But I also understand that Max wants everything to be fair for all children involved. They're incompatible, monetarily speaking, and neither is in the wrong. Realistically speaking, OOP needs to find someone as rich as herself, or a single guy with no kids who she plans to have no kids with. I remember being surprised by how definite the original threads were when I first read them. It seemed like a difficult set of issues to me with more than one side. But so many just decided her fiancé was a grasper she would be well shot of. I'm not going to sit here and say that his demand that she buy his children who have shown no interest in riding 2 ponies is fine and reasonable. But there's a bit more gray in the picture for me than many in AITAH apparently. There was a commenter talking about inherited assets not passing during the divorce, but the bigger issue I see is if she dies. If she were to marry him without the trusts, and then she dies, he would be entitled to her money. At that point we don't know if he would pass it to her daughter. At the very most he might split it BW the kids. But we don't know. So happy she set them up to protect her daughter's future. It would suck to be one of the kids in the house who doesn't get ponies and cars and private school and whatnot. And what 6-year-old little girl isn't gonna want a friggin' pony the second she sees the 9-year-old girl with one? It's a fairly standard little girl obsession. So maybe she'll get to share. Or maybe she'll only get to ride it if the 9-yo isn't. And maybe it's always called 9-yo's pony that she's borrowing. IDK. Just seems like a lot of opportunities for resentments. Especially for his children. No household works well built on inequality between its members. And here I am thinking I would never trade my stepdad for a pony. Who the hell believes this is real? Is this the origin story for every AITA evil step-parent who is fine with the stepkids being second-class kids in their own family, with one kid being Dudley and the others being Harry? The fact that OOP set up an irrevocable trust so no one can force me to spend it says an awful lot about how little she really trusted her fiancé. She really said she'd send her daughter to a private school with equestrian sports. But her partner's kids can suck it. She wants the best for her child, meaning the best money can buy. He wants the best for his children, meaning not wanting for them to feel inferior. I don't know. I can only relate to one of them. I would not trade a million ponies or anything for a loving, caring family. Edit. I mean, I would prefer my family. Of course. Pony lovers, take your upvotes elsewhere. I don't understand how she thought she could marry that man and not raise his kids equally. What kind of environment is that for the kids? Let alone her own kid? Imagine growing up getting amazing opportunities that your step-siblings don't and having to process that? That's sowing division, resentment and guilt right out of the gate. Either you're one family or you're not. He is not kicking up a fuss and not leaving because he does not want to miss out on free rent and 2 incomes. Damn, I wish my only problems in life were whether I should buy a horse or not. Pony. Go to bed, Liz. For once we're reading a story about a parent who values their child over the person they're currently involved with. That's a nice change. Glad Oop has a good head on her shoulders. I kind of wish I was her daughter. Lol. She's getting a pony. A parent that puts her first in a trust fund. That's like hitting the lottery 3 times. I'm struggling to understand how you inherit a home and have a trust and with combined incomes of 2 working adults cannot financially support 3 children equally. Are you just collecting aluminum cans and driving Ubers all day? I do. I mean, my team did. I am sorry if it takes you too long. Is an asshole. Why bite someone for asking a question?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AITAH is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.